Sang my first show tune when I was just 3. My mother knew I'd go far. I've been a show queen since way before Glee. Now I'm a Broadway star. Well, not exactly, but my friend has a friend who knows Idina Menzel.
Well, you know, I mean, sort of.
So things are happening, you'll see. But till my ship comes in, I've got a lot to tell you. Let's start chewing the scenery with... Welcome to Chewing the Scenery with... me.
Turn off your cell phones.
Chapter 5, The Baker's Wife, or Hitler's Roadshow. The Baker's Wife was a musical that just didn't work. Even though we had some of Broadway's most successful talent, nobody could define what was wrong, and nobody knew how to fix it. The book was a problem, but so was everything else. The sets were a problem. The lights were a problem. The costumes were a problem. The orchestrations were a problem. The choreography was a problem. The relationship between Stephen Schwartz and David Merrick was a problem. Small wonder I started popping Valium 10 milligrams at a time. Rumor had it Merrick wanted Zero Mostel to star as Amable the Baker. Zero didn't do it. Maybe he knew something the rest of us didn't. Our producer got what he thought was the next best thing, Chaim Topol, who played Tevye in the 1971 film version of Fiddler on the Roof. In this particular case, the space between the best thing and the next best thing could have filled the Grand Canyon. Throughout his time as Amable, he was anything but. It seemed that he hated, well, everything. He didn't like the lyrics, so he refused to sing them. Paying audiences actually heard blah, 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 blah come out of his mouth. I know there are supposed to be 2 sides to every story, but believe me, both sides thought he was an asshole. How bad did it get? Really bad. On my first day of rehearsal, he grabbed my breast just to see how much meat was on my bones. I had to call him Mr. Topol. He wouldn't acknowledge me on stage, so the loving relationship between Amable and Geneviève didn't exist. My relationship with Topol deteriorated to the point where he actually announced, "I don't believe a word she says on stage or off." I don't know why. It was clear I hated him in both places. Eventually, 7 of us in the cast wrote a letter to Actors Equity asking to have his equity card revoked because he was so damaging to the production and detrimental to the company's morale. There were 2 women in the cast, however, who were vying for the sexual attentions of Topol. Topol used these women, or at least one of them, against the rest of the company. His dressing room was opposite mine, and on many occasions I would see the younger and sexier girl walk into his dressing room in a short dressing gown and coming out later with it half off. The other one, who was not as young as the sexy Corinne, was desperately in love with him. At one point, when she found out about the 7 of us who wrote the letter to Equity, she just looked at us with rage and tears pouring out of her eyes, screaming, "You're shits! You're just a bunch of shits!" Here. Have a Valium.